Hi, I'm Jan. When is enough enough? At some point, we all face a time where we realise that money matters. It could be an illness, a pregnancy, an accident, job loss. There's a host of things that make us go, whoop, stand up and take note. Sometimes it's looking at the superannuation balance in absolute dismay and realising that there's not going to be enough. Sometimes it's just the sheer overwhelmness and anxiety associated with dealing with money. So where to start? I believe first off, how do you think about money? What's the money mindset or the blueprint you're working from? Here's some money mindsets that I've come across and also responses to debunk them. I'm not smart with money. Well, nobody is born with money skills. It's a learnt skill. I don't earn enough. Well, it's not about what you earn. It's much, much more about what you save. I'm too old now. What's the point? Well, I've worked with clients starting out at 60 and they're doing just fine. I mean, there's another 30 years to go. The economy is in turmoil, yes, but maybe it is. But more millionaires are made in recessions. I look back at Revlon. It started in 1930 during the Depression. Wow, just as well they didn't have an issue about the economy being in turmoil. Most people I've found want to be wealthy because they believe it will make them happy. But that's another belief that I think is worth debunking. There have been many surveys conducted about what makes people happy. And guess what? It's control. Absolute control over their lives that have come out on top. Happiest people feel they have control of their lives. Control over how they live, what they do, who they see, and for how long they see them. That is a very individual aspect to their lives. They are individuals that are aware of what is enough for them. So the correlation between having wealth and experience happiness is absolutely not connected, not necessarily. We unfortunately are aware of many, many wealthy celebrities and people that we know through the media who clearly weren't happy and or maybe aren't happy now. I've worked with stressed people that are confused about money. They're earning great money but not getting ahead, unable to move forward because it's not just about the money. And just recently I started watching a series called Limitless with Chris Hemsworth, and that series is, look, the motivation for the series, as I can gather, is that Chris was given some news that he has a gene from his mother and one from his father, and it's the Alzheimer's gene. So he looked at ways, he went on a journey over 12 months and looked at ways to stem that, to be able to live long but strong and healthier. And so the first episode, it's a series of 6 episodes, and the first episode was about stress. And the social psychologist said to him, asked a question and said, "So when do you get stressed, Chris?" And he answered with, "When I've got so many things to do, so many emails, so many people to follow up, so many tasks, got 3 kids, all of that. I get into overwhelm, I get stressed, and I wake up at night, so I don't sleep well." So the next question the psychologist asked him was, "So why do you have so much to do?" And his response was, "Well, I just say yes to everything." And then the next question she asked, and this was absolute gold: why do you say yes to everything? And then Chris, and I think it's very beautiful of him to share this with so many people through this series. He grew up in a family that obviously money was a bit scarce, and as a kid he felt uncomfortable with that, and he asked his dad, when will the bank be paid off? And the response was probably never. And he thought, I don't want this for my family. And the motivation for Chris as he got older to start acting was to help his family get out of debt, to help his mum and dad get out of debt. So here was somebody clearly, somebody that's comfortably, I would imagine, financially self-sufficient, probably has absolute financial freedom, chooses to work because he loves it, but has an underlying belief that's causing a behaviour that's causing stress. And that belief is, if I don't say yes to everything and to everybody, it might all go away and I'll be left with nothing. It'll just be taken away. So here's a belief that is creating a behaviour that is creating stress. Really worthwhile pondering. Now, what I'd like to add to the mix here is there is a difference between rich and wealthy. One can appear to be rich, but maybe not wealthy. Wealthy and rich are not the same. You can see rich. It's the big house, it's the fancy car, it's the boats, it's the holidays, it's the shoes with the red thing underneath, it's all of those things. But those things can be bought on credit. They can come out of income, out of revenue. They could be easily leased for very little equity. Wealth is what you don't see. It's the share portfolio, it's the property portfolio, the bonds, the cash at the bank. True wealth is your net worth. Things that you own on this side and the debt against those things on this side. If you've got, an example, $1 million worth of assets, but you've got $900,000 worth of debt against those assets, your net worth is not $1 million, it's $100,000. And I'd like to share a couple of other stories that I believe perfectly describe what I'm trying to get across. When is enough enough? Bernie Madoff is an American financier. You've probably heard of him or read about him. He had it all. He legitimately earned between 20 and 25 million US of income every year. Had prestige, had a great reputation, but risked everything with fraudulent activity. He threw it all away because he wanted more and more. He created the largest Ponzi scheme known, and that sent him to jail for 150 years. He died in prison. I love this quote from Warren Buffett describing a fund manager in fairly recent times that lost everything. And Warren Buffett said, he did that, or the fund manager did that, to make money that he didn't need and didn't have. He risked what he did have and didn't need. So what these guys really did need was an RTT session to sort out why there was no sense of enoughness. So back to the topic, when is enough enough? Understanding where you are now and where you want to be. Understanding what enough is for you, because it is so individual. Somebody may need $5 million, somebody else may need just $1 million or even less. Somebody may need to be on a farm being self-sufficient. No right or wrong. It's what's perfect or what's right for you. Part of this process is also identifying limiting or sabotaging money beliefs that may be holding you back from what it is that you want to generate for yourself. You get to choose your money relationship. And as a clinical hypnotherapist and an RTT practitioner, I love the fact that I can help you do just that. I came across Marissa Peer, founder of RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy, and decided to train it. RTT is a combination of other modalities, but the very best aspects of those modalities, like NLP, CBT, hypnotherapy and psychotherapy, and also strategies and tools that Marissa has created over her many decades working with clients. I'd be delighted to help you choose your money relationship.